In this video, we're going to conclude our section on polynomials by finding the zeros of a polynomial. So the zeros of a polynomial, so f of x, have a few aliases. So if you see any of these synonyms, they all mean the same thing as finding the zeros. So first up, from a visual perspective, the zeros of a polynomial mean finding where it hits the x-axis, or finding the x-intercepts. Roots also same thing as zeros of a polynomial, and this comes from being able to actually rebuild the polynomial knowing what the roots are. So if you know what values of x cause the polynomial to equal 0, you can reverse engineer those values to build the polynomial that has that as its zeros. Also, solutions to f of x equals 0 mean the same thing as finding the zeros. So if you graph your function, and then 0 is the equation 0, y equals 0, is the x-axis. So this is where does the graph of your function intersect the graph of y equals 0, or where does it intersect the x-axis? That's the same thing as finding your x-intercepts. So zeros, x-intercepts, roots, and solutions to the polynomial equaling 0 all mean the exact same thing. So please be advised of that. So example 4, find the zeros of each. We have f of x equals 2x to the fourth plus 7x cubed minus 10x squared minus 33x plus 18. So with something like this, I would strongly recommend that you graph it. Here we have a 0 at -3. We have a 0 here. It looks to be about -0.5. We have a 0 at 2. If you look at -3 here, this one, it hits that x-axis and then goes back up. This one goes through. This one also goes through. So this has to do with what's known as multiplicity. But for right now, in terms of finding the zeros, if we use technology, we can find them to be at -3, 0 for the x-intercept, 1/2, 0 for the x-intercept, and 2, 0 for the x-intercept. So the zeros are just looking at those x-coordinates, -3, 1/2, and 2. So, all right, part B, g of x equals x minus 1 to the 1, or x minus 1, the expression cubed, times 5x plus 4 times x plus 7 to the fourth power. Now, I do not recommend multiplying this all out. That would be a lot of work for nothing. You could graph this and get the zeros as well. However, it's already in factored form. So if we set the whole thing equal to 0, since it's already in factored form, that means if this whole thing equaled 0, that each one of the factors, x minus 1, 5x plus 4, and x plus 7, we would have equals 0. So we can use the fact that g of x equals 0, and it's already factored out for us, and just solve each one of these. So we could also graph this, but I just wanted to show you a different way, maybe a bit quicker way when it's already factored out for you. So we get 1, -4/5, and -7 as our zeros of this polynomial. So, all right, that about does it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.